Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 120 on February 20th, 2019. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Next year at this time, we will have a palindrome date.
Hopefully.
2022. No, it'll be 2022 when that happens. Okay, never mind.
Well, in a couple of years.
Yeah. And also Jimmy Trammell.
And, oh yeah, this is the VOD Squad. I was thinking maybe it might be the Whine Squad.
No, this is not the Wine Snobs.
The Wine Snob? No, I didn't bring the wine. Oh, man. Oh,
I will wait till Rants and Raves. Maybe I'll have something to whine about. But how you guys doing?
Hey, you remember the time I told you a while ago that, I need to replace my phone again and that they kept sending the box to the wrong place? I finally got it today.
Hooray! Hey, that looks like an old school, that box looks like an old school Seagate hard drive. Flip it over. There you go. That looks like the top of a Seagate hard drive.
Corner? Yeah, that's just the label. If I get you too close, you'll be able to read all the text that's on this thing, so I better not let you do that. But, it finally came here. I finally will be able to replace the thing and send it back, and I don't want to get into all the fun I've been having with that. Yep.
It looks like that.
Looks like that. That's a Western Digital.
That's a Western Digital, you're right.
Yeah, that's not a Seagate. Come on, trying to pull one over me? How dare you?
No, because I had to put the Seagate back because it doesn't have the barcode.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's got the corner cut.
It's going to be one of the two usually, right?
Hey, I like my Hitachi.
Oh yeah, Toshiba made good drives too.
Higher fail rate, but yeah, they're not bad.
Hitachi and Toshiba, they're pretty good.
Cheap.
Yeah, that's true. They are cheap. Anything else going on?
I've been trapped in my house I haven't been out of my house since Sunday, and I'm going stir crazy.
Why don't you go into the house?
It was Monday and Tuesday. I wasn't feeling great, so I worked from home, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to work today, and then blizzard. It's like,
no.
God damn it. So now I can't leave my house. I went outside long enough to move my car to the other side of the street so that they would be able to plow tonight, because my city doesn't plow until like after the snow is done.
Oh, okay. It waits until it's done and then it plows it. Interesting.
Yeah, so my neighborhood is like impossible if there's So
check
I'm here.
Chat. Anyways, so we'll have to we'll have to see when you can escape snowpocalypse for you. We've been having snowpocalypse, but I don't know why, but they've been kind of making a big fuss about how much snow we had up here. It wasn't that much, goodness sakes. Otherwise,
yeah, we got. I don't know. I think we've gotten like a foot so far, but
okay. Hey, Jimmy, did you get below freezing yet?
No, actually, it's currently 75 degrees here.
You suck. Okay.
Yeah, but he's got a couple months until hurricane season comes back.
True.
So
yeah, well, it's always got to be something, right?
I know. All right.
Alrighty. Hey, so what do we got to talk about this week?
All right, we got a couple stories this week. So we're going to start with CBS. They've been working really hard on their CBS All Access service, and they've crossed a milestone today. They went ahead and crossed a subscription of 8 million subscribers, and they weren't expecting to get that until 2 years from now. And so they are really happy with the performance they've gotten out of the system. They're trying to reach a total of 25 million domestic subscribers by the year 2022 now. So that's a big goal. And if they can continue this trend of making shows that I want to watch that is only on it, I will eventually have to buy it. I know that. Again, they have to have at least 3 shows for me to watch, so we'll see when that happens.
That you can always do, like I'm doing with Stars right now, where this week the series finale of Counterpart came out, so I paid my $8
Gotcha.
for this month, and I've watched like 7 of the 10 episodes today, and good to go.
I don't have time to do that. Boy, binging? I can't do that.
Well,
I don't
when
do
you're
that
trapped in your house for multiple days on end, it's easy.
Well, one thing I'll say, is, and just recently have subscribed to CBS. You can do the annual plan. It does save you a little bit of money, and I kind of like that. I wish more providers would start offering that. Just do a yearly plan.
Most do. Right? Most do. It's just a matter of, is there enough content to get you through the year?
I don't think Hulu does. Hulu doesn't do that, right? And I wish they would.
No, I don't know, but there are many services to do it.
Because I know, like with Stars and HBO and a lot of them, you can. Right. Amazon, it's just a matter of
Amazon,
the way I look at it is, there's like a thing or a couple things that I want to watch, but they're only a few weeks out of the year. What am I paying for the rest of the time? So that's why I like the monthly model personally. So
well, I mean, just the option, just to have the option, right? Yeah, and then I mean, for some things you're going to subscribe to, such as Netflix.
It's like Hulu. Hulu just take my money.
Hulu or Netflix. Let me pay an annual subscription, get a little bit of a discount.
Funimation now, they just take my money, and it's fine.
But I got a theory of why CBS did so well. CBS had the Super Bowl this year. I think that's the reason for the bump in subscription.
Well, you didn't have CBS always has it, and it's always free. You just go to cbs.com and you can stream it.
Well, on that fact, then I just noticed the end of this article. They note that the current license for the NFL, all the normal games that CBS has, that license expires in the year 2022, and it looks like Amazon or Google might swoop in and steal that up.
Yeah, we talked about that last year. Of there was a couple of people that were vying, potentially, or Amazon or the NFL was courting offers, but. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, will be interesting. Plus, too, there's another, let's say, one of the old professional football leagues is about to spin up, I think. Was it the XFL or something?
That was
like
the old one.
The XFL is coming back, though.
What? Yes,
XFL is coming back this
yeah.
year, and then there's the AAF, which is
something
the
like
new... That, which is I'm glad for, because I've been, that's been a thing that I've been harping on for years. People keep scrutiny against the NCAA has been increasing over the years, and I keep asking the question, why isn't there minor league football like there's minor league baseball? Mm-hmm. Baseball, the corruption from baseball in the NCAA is not near the level it is for football, because there are other pathways. Kids that, they're not being talked into going to a school where they're not going to get anything educational out of it because they're not interested in that aspect. There needs to be another path, and that's, I think, what they're trying to do with the new AA one. XFL's just WWF football. It's all about money. Interested to see, because if you remember, it wasn't that long ago that the AFC and the NFC were 2 completely different leagues.
Yes.
And then they were joined together
by the Super Bowl.
Yep. And for the to form the NFL. So, I'd be interested to see if AAF and XFL kind of followed a similar path.
Well, XFL, it didn't do well enough at first. What's different this time to say it's going to do any better?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. The NFL's had a little bit of a pullback on their subscriptions and on the viewership due to controversy, and so I'm splitting it up like this. That doesn't sound like a good idea to me, if you ask me. I mean, I do understand the idea of a minor league makes a lot of sense.
Well, and it's also in the off season when they're not competing directly with.
Okay, gotcha.
Because AAF is starting here in a couple weeks, and then XFL is coming towards closer to summer. So it's not like it's for people that they're mad because they don't have football a good chunk of the year. So
that plus two, I think it's going to appeal to cord cutters actually, right? So you start having. I mean, I don't know. Is CBS going to? Will they renew with the NFL, or if one of these other professional leagues
and you can currently, I think you can currently watch the AAF games on Amazon Prime.
The arena football?
No, the new football league.
AAL. AAL.
AAF. Yeah, I think it's AAF, right?
The owl. I thought it was the AF. AAF.
Yeah, it is. It's AAF. Inaugural 8 franchises and they've got Arizona, Atlanta, Birmingham, Memphis, Orlando, Salt Lake, San Antonio, and San Diego. Which they should do good in San Diego because, until the Raiders get there temporarily, San Diego's without football. So,
So very cool.
All right,
you have to remind me about the Raiders going to Las Vegas. Yeah.
Well, but that's the problem is they have to get out of Oakland. Oakland's kicking them out, and they got nowhere to go because Mike and I saw what I assume is the new stadium that's being built next to the freeway in Vegas, and that's not going to be ready for a while. So yeah, the Raiders may be in San Diego for a couple seasons.
Well, the bright side of that is it gives me a reason to travel out to Las Vegas once a year, right?
Yeah.
All right. We have another story here. Netflix is looking like they've picked up the Transformers license again, and they're going to be making a new animated series called Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy, which I wonder if this is going to be 3 different movies or 3 different series, or what the plan is for this. Looks like this is going to be a kind of a origin story style for where the Autobots and Decepticons came from, and we'll be seeing this on Netflix in 2020.
As if that hasn't been done before.
Well, I feel like they've made about 99 different versions of Transformers now. Isn't that right? They haven't quite cracked 100.
I don't know.
So they needed to do this, obviously.
It looks like this is they're making this in conjunction with Rooster Teeth, so that makes me. I've never been a big Transformers fan, but I like Rooster Teeth stuff. So
what is that Rooster Teeth? Wasn't it Rooster Teeth that made that awesome kind of Voltron style?
Well, they did. They were really famous for Red versus Blue. And then there's also, the one that I really liked, and I can't think of it. It was Monty Orr's show, and then he died. I can't think of it.
Maybe it wasn't Rooster Teeth, but there was this cartoon. It was like puppeteer style with this Voltron style character, and I thought it was Rooster Teeth. But
maybe I'm not familiar with all of their stuff.
Yeah. The original Transformers movie was good. The rest of them after that didn't.
When you say the original movie, are you talking about the animated movie from 1988?
No, the original non-animated movie.
Oh, the first live action movie.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That one was pretty good. The rest of them were not so well. So I think it makes sense for them to go back to the animated version, right? And that kind of comes back full circle with that series, right? Back to the origin.
Bottom line, Transformers consistently rakes in money, and Netflix is smart to cash in on that. And they've earned some goodwill from me with the amazing job they did with Voltron. So they made me care about Voltron.
Right.
All right. Well, next story we have is Samsung. It's been, pretty famous for producing some amazing high-end.
What do they do? They're making everything.
Yeah.
What are they bragging about now?
They've invented a device that can take your DVD player and fold it in half.
Wait.
No.
What?
That was the other announcement they made today. No, Samsung is stopping to sell. Stop selling Blu-ray players anymore. Basically, they've decided that Blu-ray is not the future, so they have stopped making any new devices that will be providing Blu-ray inside the United States, which is kind of a very sad thing because Blu-ray doesn't feel like it was here very long. When did Blu-ray come out?
Blu-ray became the dominant. That would have been like 2007, I think, when they won the war against HD DVD.
Yeah,
because it was when the Xbox 360 came out. They banked on HD DVD, and the PS3 banked on Blu-ray.
Right.
But see, it was going to be short-lived. It was going to be short-lived because the advent of high-speed internet killed it.
But it's not. It's not really short-lived because look at DVDs. DVDs. You started seeing those affordably $99, $2,000, and then they were phased out. Yeah, and you can still buy them. You can
today.
But how many companies make DVD players?
Right.
That's the thing. They're not saying that nobody's going to make it.
Oh, they're going to continue to make DVDs, yes, but you just hit the nail on the head, right? How many companies are making DVD players?
Yeah.
You
get market saturation. I mean, there's only with any format. There's only a period of time where it's profitable to make the hardware, and I think 10 years is a good run. I agree. And Samsung's not the first. Like I think Oppo already got out of that. I'm pretty sure Panasonic stopped making DVD or Blu-ray players when they stopped their TV production like a year or two ago. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it has. It's been like 10 years. They got market saturation and people are moving on.
I was not personally, but my family was in the HD DVD side of that battle. So I feel like that time when DVD and HD DVD were both out on the field, Blu-ray was not an option for me. Yeah. So I feel like it was later because of that change. And I mean, quite frankly, I'm happy that basically they decided not to drag this off for years and years and years. This is a competition between the two formats. I appreciate that. Thank you, Toshiba, for finally deciding you lost. I'm sorry you did. I do appreciate that. But that being said, I don't know. It just feels like makes the life of Blu-ray a little bit shorter. But the one thing I do like about Blu-rays versus all the other disc formats, those discs are absolutely just stable. They do not they don't scratch. They don't, they are really nice discs. That format, they finally perfected it, and then feels like now that we're throwing it away.
Well, they're not. It's just people are starting to exit. I mean, somebody will continue. But I mean, let me put it this way. In around 2010, 2011, I bought a DVD player. I mean, a Blu-ray player.
Sure.
In 2012, I put it in a box because I was moving, and it hasn't been unpacked since.
Oh.
So I mean, that tells you how much. And I was without a Blu-ray player until I got this PS4, and I've never once put a Blu-ray into it, so that wasn't a game. So
I want a future now where I can go to that Redbox kiosk with my USB stick, plug it in, get a time-limited video on the stick. I know the internet's a thing. I understand that, but I still I want physical media, everybody. I don't want it to die.
All you need is one that dispenses SD cards.
Yeah, there you go. And by then they'll be so cheap.
Well, I mean, they already are. You only need you need a 5 or an 8 gig, will fit your entire movie with features.
With decent compression.
Just spit it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, since we're talking about this, right? I mean, and I know I'm the old guy here, right?
All right.
But I mean, in my lifetime, right, I went from vinyl records, 8 tracks, cassettes, and then when you include video there too, it started being, VHS and Betamax, right? Then we went to CDs, and then DVDs, and then high definition DVDs, right? Well, after I went through that many, media changes there, right? I was a Blu-ray never, right? After a DVD player, and then they come out with a high definition, I said, you know what? I'm holding off on this. I'm not going to buy into that, and I'm going to wait. And then the streaming services came about, and I was like, okay, that's the way to go. That way I don't have to buy another player, right? I'll be able to just stream this to my device. And that was the reason why I never bought a Blu-ray.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, it served its purpose, and I mean, you can still buy VHS.
I know. That's fine. And
nobody's making it. And we reported 2 years ago that the last VHS maker finally shut down their production.
Yeah, that one felt like it had been around long enough, though. Okay, that one had a nice long run.
Well, that's why it is. I'd say in another 5 to 10 years, we'll probably find out that nobody is making a DVD or DVD combo, because most Blu-ray players can play DVDs.
There are Blu-ray players that can't play DVDs.
Oh yeah, first generation ones didn't. That was a feature.
Oh, what the heck?
Because they use different laser patterns, and it.
Yeah, the first generation wanted to prod you to buy Blu-rays, right? That was the reason why they would do that.
Oh, sorry, that just sounds horrible. No wonder I like HD DVD back in the day.
Well, and that was one reason I bought the Panasonic that I did, was because it was backwards compatible.
Right.
Because I ain't running 2 different things, but
no.
All right. So officially, everybody, if you were enjoying your various Marvel series on Netflix, it's official now. All of the different Marvel shows have been removed from Netflix. They just canceled Jessica Jones and The Punisher, which were the last 2 of the various Defenders series, and we will not be seeing them again for some time.
I mean, I knew it was coming, but still a little disappointing. And I just started the last season of The Punisher, right? So, yeah, a little disappointing, but I understand. Yeah, and then we got the Disney service coming later this year, right?
Well, who said that during the pre-show? It's Disney service is coming later.
Oh yeah, I saw an article earlier today that people have been speculating that we were going to see Disney streaming in the spring or early summer. Disney has said late 2019. So that tells me in time for the holidays.
Right.
Probably November-ish, October. So, yeah, not as soon as you would like. And also, they are pulling their all the princess titles off of Netflix.
Aww. So, man.
If you like the Disney princess stuff, get your fix now. And
that princess, thought you were saying prince there for a minute.
Oh no, princess.
All the Disney princes are being removed. That's right, because all Prince Charming and Prince Charming. And
well, they're nothing without the girls.
I was thinking more of Purple Rain Prince. Right?
Oh, Purple Rain.
Oh
yeah,
no, the universe pulled him last year off of all services. But maybe it was 2 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, okay, another piece of news from Netflix. Netflix has gotten ahead and greenlighted another piece of animated series for us for your kids to watch. Since it seems like all the Disney stuff is disappearing, they've went ahead and got their own version of Green Eggs and Ham, the animated series, coming their way, including a bunch of various different voices that you might be interested in seeing. Various from everything from Michael Douglas, Jeffrey Wright, Julian Bell, John Turturro, various voices. And apparently this is a lot more than the story of just Green Eggs and Ham. They're exploring all kinds of interesting things in the Seuss universe.
So my initial thought is, what are they going to do? Are they going to treat each scenario as its own episode? Like, what would it be like to eat green eggs and ham in a car? Or very far? Or with a goat on a boat, you know? All I know is Sam I Am jokes incoming.
Well, brace apparently yourselves. Also they've made a polar opposite character called Guy I Am, who's apparently, I don't know, he's just supposed to be the opposite of Sam I Am.
I'm surprised they didn't just go with Will I Am. I mean, he's no stranger to doing cartoon voices.
Yeah, that's true.
Him and Andre 3000 have had cartoon appearances.
Well, like Tracy Morgan and Eddie Izzard in there, right? Those are two funny guys, right? So, I mean, it should be pretty good to hear either one of those two do Green Eggs and Ham.
We'll see. This seems like I feel like that Netflix is going to be introducing a lot more of these types of shows, trying to fill in the void that they're going to be getting from all the Disney stuff disappearing. So this is just going to be the first of many various kids and kids shows that they're going to be trying to use. So,
all right. Well,
we'll see.
I'll reserve judgment until I see it.
All right, YouTube users, if you've been a YouTube user and you've been worried about how the copyright system works on it, they've had this strike system where you can get yourself in trouble if you accidentally have copyrighted work. They've made a modification to the system which basically gets you a one-time mulligan if you do for your first time for a a first-time offender on YouTube, which basically means that if you accidentally do something for the first time on YouTube that does constitute a strike, they will let you away scot-free. So basically, they'll pull the content in question, but you won't get the loss of privileges.
Okay. Are any of you guys familiar with the controversy that's going on right now? Concerning, is it Vox Media? Is it TechCrunch?
I thought it was The Verge, but
The Verge. You're The Verge. That's it.
I am aware of it, but I do not know any of the details about it.
So what they're doing,
am not aware of it.
So all they're doing right now is they're limiting the strike system right now. You get a strike, it stays on your account for 3 months. So they're limiting it to 6 weeks now. What was the number? They're dropping it down to 90 days.
2 week.
Oh no, it's still 3 months. It's 90 days.
So
they're not changing anything. The problem isn't with the strike system. The strike system is fine. If you do something bad, you should get a strike. The problem isn't with that. It's the fact that anybody can lodge a complaint and then it's automatically executed, whether you own the content or not. So right now, what's happened is The Verge basically executed takedowns on a ton of channels that were legitimate, fair use channels. Because The Verge, they did a how to build, back in September, they did a how to build a PC video that was absolutely terrible. It is not only terrible, if you followed those directions, you could potentially destroy the expensive hardware you just purchased. because the guy didn't know anything about it, and it was scary. And so what happened was a lot of people were doing reaction videos and commenting, and The Verge didn't like that. So they issued a bunch of content takedowns, and YouTube, the way their system works, is they just go, okay. And then now, I mean, there are channels that were shut down, that the people that they've been completely demonetized, even if the video is months old, they don't care about that video, but they're, if they had multiple videos on that subject, then now they've reached their 3 strikes, and their channel can be completely removed. Or, I mean, the biggest way is if you get 1 strike, you can't live stream. And if your monetary system is based on live streaming, like we are doing right now, if all of a sudden Twitch said, "Oh, yeah, you can't live stream for 3 months," that's a big deal, and all because of, and they were doing something that was fair use, something that recently, I don't remember the channel, another channel went to court over this and won. Over the fair use, but The Verge, The Verge came out later with, like a couple days ago, came out with we're sorry, but blamed all of the users that they banned, saying it was their fault. No, the system's broken, which is one reason I've kind of been avoiding YouTube, and this isn't good.
I mean, okay, so help me out here. Help me understand the motivation for The Verge. Are they doing this because they don't like the bad reviews they get on
they were
video?
mad. They were mad because they said mean stuff about us. The Verge is supposed to be a tech, like smart,
The Verge was
where you
good
get information. And
when those guys first started that thing, it was pretty good. But I have to say, and every now and then,
it's all clickbait and ad.
Yeah, every now and then they do put out some decent content, but a lot of their stuff right now is really crappy. Right, some of the guys that produce those videos and all are or the hosts behind those videos and all are pretty crappy, right? I mean, some of the guys do good work there, but most of them are crap now.
Yeah,
right. And it's sad because it didn't used to be that way with them.
Yeah, and it's fine if they wanted to do this mean-spirited takedown, they can, but there needs to be a system in place that someone reviews the request before it's executed. The problem is, people are demonetized and they're taken down by people that don't even own the content.
Yeah.
Right. You could go in there and say, "Oh, this video, file a copyright claim," and that video will automatically be taken down.
Right.
And this is something that like even legitimate sources like DTNS have been battling for years, because they're actually adhering to fair use. They're doing a show like we are right now. One reason I don't like to play, I mean, we've had videos taken down, us personally.
Really?
Just because there was a little bit of Jimmy was playing a little bit of music in the background.
Oh.
It was gone. Or we played a commercial or something, clicked on a web page and an ad started playing, and then those ones though were picked up by the auto mod, their auto filter. Whatever. People are doing it maliciously, and they're gaming the system because there is no, the way the system's set up, there is no repercussion. I can go out and just do copyright claims on a bunch of other people, they can spend months fighting it, finally get it back after it's no longer relevant and it doesn't matter. And even if it's found, and there's no penalty for me.
Right.
You know? And so, that's what's wrong with the system.
So yeah, and here, but the thing about it is, guys like The Verge, and The Verge, if you're listening, right, here's a little bit of advice. Spend less time, trying to submit these takedowns, right? And spend more time trying to make quality content, right? And then you might not get so many complaints against your videos.
Jimmy, I'll try to find, somebody find a good version of that video so that we can show Jimmy. Oh my God, it was the worst thing that I have ever seen. And I was like, whoa, what the? And I didn't find out about it until after the fact, after everybody was done. Somebody made a joke that referenced it, and I had to go back and look it up.
Now, YouTube does all this because they basically were sued into doing it by Viacom.
I get why YouTube is trying to cover their ass.
I get that too.
But I get why they just opt to do the automated system, because it would be very expensive to pay a human being to sit there and review every single claim that comes in. Yeah,
it would be impossible.
I mean, they would become one of the largest employers in the world if they were able to do that.
I have a suggestion to YouTube. I want you. I have not to The Verge, or whatever. Suggestion to YouTube: allow people to submit a claim just like you have now, but require a $10 service fee.
Yeah,
that would dramatically reduce the amount of claims.
And I mean, it's one of those things where if you're part of a multi-network platform that is big enough that they have lawyers, then you might be able to get this resolved expediently, because as part of being one of the virtues of being part of that network is that you have lawyers at your disposal. Just everyday if we were attacked, what are we going to do? Are we going to spend thousands of dollars on a lawyer to try and get back that one video that isn't going to maybe make us $5 with in monetizing? No,
I don't know. Maybe I'm going to show my age here, but I mean, man, it's just YouTube. Why all this ruckus over YouTube?
Because to people younger than us, YouTube is TV. My kids don't watch channels. My kids don't use streaming platforms. They watch YouTube.
I watch more YouTube than I watch regular TV most of the time. Mm-hmm. I do. I sit down in the night and I watch some videos on YouTube. I have a couple of people that I like watching just because they're funny and full of good information. And I'm done and I go do my other thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like,
people are making
so
good
there was
money.
A little bit of music. So there was a little bit of music in the background of a YouTube video. What the hey? I mean, what damage did it cause anybody, or what money did anybody make off of that?
Well, the thing is, when we put up a video, our videos are monetized by ads. So therefore, if we're playing somebody else's copyrighted music and they're paying us money to monetize that video, then technically we are making money off of that, is the thing. Now, I mean, in our scale, it seems like big deal, but with a bigger channel that gets hundreds of thousands of views, that's hundreds and thousands of ads, which can equal hundreds of thousands of dollars per video, based on how many views those ads got. So, yeah.
I don't know. If somebody's got 1 million views and it makes somebody or costs somebody a lot of money, I might could understand that.
Well,
right?
That's the thing.
But if it's somebody that has 50 views, right? Does it really matter all that much?
Well, no. I mean, the principle is the same. I mean, the impact.
Principle is the same.
The principle is the
I'll
same.
give it that. The principle is the same, but you know.
I mean, yes. Someone smaller, like us, they would get like 5, maybe 10 views. Yeah, they're not going to fight it, but it's still damaging when they're restricted and they can't post for 30, 90 days. They can't live stream for 90 days. That's a big deal, especially if you're doing this stuff multiple times a week and you have an audience and you have a following, all because somebody just said, I don't like what you're saying, or I don't like what you did on a personal level, and I'm going to cause you to be taken down. So it's the new version of, oh, hey, thanks C3TTV for the raid. Yeah, it's, you know, it's like the new swatting. Remember when swatting was the big thing?
Yeah,
where,
it's YouTube takedowns.
Yeah, and this has kind of become the new thing, where you know there's no repercussion. So whatever. YouTube, I'm not happy, but
yeah, well. So yeah, you have the other option right now, which is on Twitch. But other than that, we'd have to have our own server and stream stuff, which we could do.
We could, but that's okay. And that's what I was saying. I'm a bit happier over here. I'm happier live streaming to Twitch than to YouTube, for these reasons. Because YouTube, there's no guarantee that anybody will get to watch your video. So,
all right. Valve has announced that they are going to take their service, their movie service, and retire. Do you guys remember that Valve had a movie service? Yep. We actually reported on this maybe a year or two more longer ago. Valve has been inside the Steam app allowed you to access other things other than games, including short movies, documentaries, and full feature-length films. They are now, within the next couple of weeks, going to be reducing all those to, so you will not be able to make any additional purchases. But if you did purchase something through it, you will still be able to watch your video.
So, I look at this as Valve cancels another thing. Because Valve likes to follow the Google model of, hey, let's do this thing. Never mind.
Well, let's see. That's the Steam Link, the Steam controller,
the Steam box. I assume this ran on the big screen mode.
Probably.
Because Valve still out there. But I'm just saying this utilized that. Valve's been trying to get into your living room for a long time, and it's very unsuccessfully. All I have to say to Valve is stop messing around with these services and give us the final episode of Half-Life that we've been waiting for. That's all anybody wants. And maybe Portal 3.
Sure, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Give me a Portal.
Yeah, give me another Portal and finish Half-Life.
That'd be nice.
That's like the only... They have one job. Oh, I guess 2 jobs. So...
All right. I want to talk to you guys about Lowcast. Lowcast is this service that's popped up and I've heard a little bit about. It's not available around anywhere where we live, except for Michael, who is not on today.
Oh, Alan? Wait, no, Alan, I can't.
But it's basically the same idea as Aereo. Do you remember Aereo? You know, they got sued out of existence in the Supreme Court. They are basically doing the exact same thing, except for they're a not-for-profit, which basically gives them a few additional rules and things that they're able to do as long as they keep within their markets. So they are literally rebroadcasting over the air what you could pick up on an antenna to the local areas around them. Over the internet for a donation fee. Basically, they're doing the TVS route where, hey, please support us. We will give you we are providing you this amazing service. Please provide us with some money, and we will keep on doing it. And So if it's in Dallas and Denver and Houston and all up the East Coast, so man.
Yeah. So, and I know this was talked about a week ago on Cord Killers, and one of the most important points, I think, the benefit that they have is that they are not for profit. So which makes it a little bit murkier for the bad actors to come after them, because then it casts them in a bad shadow. Because yes, going after Aereo, which was a for-profit company, sure, take down the people that are trying to take advantage of you, right? But then if NBC and Comcast and AT&T start attacking a not-for-profit company, yeah, the potential for blowback and bad press is huge. So I'm interested to see how this works for them, especially since there are plenty of DVR options out there, including the new one from Amazon, which I don't think we've talked about. The new Amazon add-on DVR, OTA DVR.
I believe we talked about it when it was announced. Okay. We haven't touched it since.
Yeah, but yes, this would be great for something like that, potentially, but I don't know. And also it's important to note that they are not for profit, like you said, not to be confused with non-profit.
Right.
Okay. Non-profit means nobody makes any money. Not for profit lets you pay your employees a nominal fee, but all the profits beyond that go back into the company. Whereas non-profit is strictly nope, all of it goes either back in or out to a charity or so.
So let me ask a question about the service. Is this live streaming only, or do they have video on demand?
No, this is essentially the same as if you had an antenna on a building someplace. You're just getting it over the web.
So it's just live streaming only.
Yeah. It's live stream TV for people that can't get live streaming TV over the air. Because like my parents, one of their houses is so far north, there is no TV station that can reach them. This would be great. And then... or if you live like up there in Washington where you're too close to a mountain range and this stuff doesn't come over from Seattle. Yeah, you're on the that's right, it's a hill. You're on the wrong side of the hill.
You'd call it a mountain. It's a hill to us.
No. I'm from California. Hills are pretty big. But yeah, so it's interesting, and I'll be watching this to see how it turns out, because Aereo had a good idea. Aereo started out it using the same model that the cable TV industry used when they started back in the 70s, where they just took one feed and basically split it up and started charging people, to get it. Same thing, but less loopholes than Aereo. All right.
Well, it's interesting. I would love to see it expand to more cities. I'd love to be able to see if I can get it here, because I wouldn't mind getting my locals here, but that'd be nice. So I want to know more. I would love to be able to see it. Next time Michael's on, I'd like to see if he can bring it up, since apparently it's free to register and try it out, and maybe they'll just be asking for his donation, and we'll see if he does that. But so I'm curious to know more. We'll find out. Last story we have on here is a story about anybody remember that Yahoo Sports has a streaming service? I keep forgetting about this, but they used to have a deal with NBC Sports that allowed them to stream some of their content, and it looks like they've renewed their contract. So NBC Sports and the various channels, like the Golf Channel, which is part of NBC Sports, is going to continue to be available on the Yahoo Sports streaming services. So if you have like NBC regional sports networks, If you are a fan of the various the live sports available on there, and the Roto World plus Yahoo Sports fantasy games available there. So it looks like that contract is continuing on. You'll still be able to get the same content through the same service that I seriously didn't remember existed.
I started reading this. I was like, okay, this makes sense until I got to Yahoo Sports Stream. Yep. Yahoo's still trying to do the streaming thing?
Yahoo is still a thing. Thanks,
Verizon. I know that Yahoo's still a thing, but I thought they completely got rid of the streaming service after the whole debacle. They had a couple great shows that just nobody could figure out how to watch. Because that's what Community and Other Space. And then there was a show about professional basketball team in Vegas that was actually pretty good. But and I'm pretty savvy when it comes to streaming. I couldn't figure out how to watch it. I couldn't figure out how to access. I knew there was this thing called Yahoo Streaming, but I couldn't figure out. Couldn't find an app. Couldn't find a way in on the website. You do a Google search or a Yahoo search for it on its own search engine, and you can't find a link. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. It's there were the people who were really into the various Yahoo properties and they said they really loved it. I don't know. I was also one of those people who really never bumped into the service accidentally or really even tried that hard. So,
and then I gotta say, looking at this picture, that blonde lady right there.
Yeah.
A year ago, I would have given her props for the Chargers jersey.
Mm.
Right now, I hate her. Because that's an LA jersey. And no. LA, anything is evil. So.
Really? What kind of drink did she have? Was that a mojito?
I don't know.
It looked like one.
Yeah, it looks like broccoli in a glass, so it's probably a mojito.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put broccoli in everything.
Wow.
But yeah,
I assume it's muddled mint.
If you go to yahoo.com and click on sports, I think you'll see it.
Okay, cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that, Yahoo's been grasping at straws for the last decade or so, trying to become relevant again.
Yeah,
and, my first tip to Yahoo, if you want to clean up your reputation and you want to become relevant, the first thing you need to do, fix all the insecurities in your email app.
Mm-hmm.
Start there.
Start from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, just fix it. I don't care how you do it, just fix it.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember back, I mean, Yahoo was kind of like Google before there was Google.
Exactly.
Right. Sure. Right. And then you're right. They had an email service, right? And everybody would use it. I think I used to use it too at one time.
I still have a Yahoo account.
So do I. And
my mom still emails it.
But when Google come out with Gmail, right? Everybody just flocked over because it was a better product.
Mm-hmm.
I set up an account immediately on Google just to make sure I got my name.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't use it for years. It took me years to switch over. But I was in the Live and Hotmail because I got brought into the Microsoft ecosystem with Hotmail, and then I switched over to Live. But
you mean the BSD operating system? Gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah, I never signed up for that, but I did. But anyway, but yeah, you remember Gmail? You had to be invited
initially because it was beta.
You couldn't just sign up for one, right? Oh yeah, it was beta up until like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, right?
Yes, exactly.
Like that, right? Yeah. So, but yeah. I mean, Google just made a better product. I mean, that was the thing. I mean, and I think you're right. I think if Yahoo would have come up with a equally
if they would
good
just
email.
all they need to do is fix it. Just
Yes.
fix it. I mean,
Mhm.
otherwise it was fine. I mean, the Yahoo Mail was fine. It was just, like I said, it worked. It was all the insecurities, and
I know.
that is the real problem. I mean,
agree.
everything else. I mean, yeah, they did add a better spam filter and categorizing and stuff, but it was too late. By that point, they had lost everybody, and they didn't focus on the real problems.
Well, there's two things that Yahoo still do well, in my opinion, right? And maybe three. One is the financial. Yahoo Financial, I think, is still a good product. Right?
People love that.
Yeah, they like that. And then the what's the photo service they do?
Picasa. Oh wait, no, that was Google.
That was Google's.
Yeah, it was the Picasa competitor.
No, it's the one.
Photo Bucket.
Not Photo Bucket. No.
I
it's
don't
the
get
one
me
they
started
bought.
on Photo Bucket.
Flickr.
Is Flickr Yahoo? I didn't realize that.
They bought it.
Yeah, Flickr. They bought it. So Flickr's a good product. And then you could argue also to the Yahoo Fantasy Sports.
I was going to say and that's the only reason I haven't closed my Yahoo account is because I use it for fantasy football.
Right. That is a good product that they make. Right. So, but I mean, the financial, the fantasy sports, and then Flickr. I mean, those are the three things that they do well.
I will say, even up until a couple years ago, I was still a fan of Yahoo's search engine just because it knew me, and when I opened up my homepage, there was stuff I actually was interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, and they would get click-throughs from me, which I don't see any of that. So a lot of my news and pop culture intake has gone away because when I finally just switched to Google, that all went away, and I have to actively look for those things that I might have just learned through osmosis, reading headlines, and I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. Good luck, NBC and the Golf Channel. I hope you don't regret your decision.
I'm sure they'll be.
So many other people have. All right. Well, I think that's the end of the news. And a whole hour of news. So we'll keep this short, but this is the point where we like to thank all the people that support us every month, our patrons, the ones that how would you characterize the patrons? Would you say a little light in their judgment by giving us money, or
no, very heavy in their judgment. The fact that they bring it down hard on us, and that the fact that they decide what we want to do and how we do things.
That's true. That's true.
They basically are very demanding of us.
They are.
They've had various things that they've told us to do, and we've pretty much complied to almost everything they said, except for when they ask us to, do the show naked.
Yeah.
No, nobody's ever asked that.
They did once ask us to take our.
No, I'm pretty sure it said don't do the show naked.
Maybe I missed that. I'm glad that's what they asked for then.
Yeah, good advice, because you don't.
That was a demand that I will comply with.
Okay.
But yeah, no, if you're listening to this after the fact, or you're new to our community, yeah, that's patreon.com/the VOD we have a Discord channel. All patrons get extra access and reward statuses in the Discord channel. Plus, if interested in getting an audio version of this to listen to on your way to work, or it's how I ingest my podcasts. That's how I ingest this show. Then patrons get their own custom RSS feed. Like he was saying, you get to tell us to do stuff, and we'll probably do it. So yeah, that's patreon.com/thebod squad. Toss us $1. Oh no, Al-Anon, for your safety, I won't do it shirtless. If you had asked me like 10 years ago, probably. Jimmy might be okay. I think you guys wouldn't be absolutely horrified.
Yeah, I don't know. Not as good as what I used to be. That's for sure.
Back in your weightlifting days.
Yeah, maybe back then I was okay.
All right. Well, I think so. We've put a nail in the coffin for the movie draft.
Yeah, so I actually want to say something very nice and sweet about the movie drafts. Congratulations, Have a Drink, for winning the draft. The draft is officially over in 2 days, at which point you will be crowned the winner. Team Have a Drink, congratulations. And again, I think we win low score, which I think gets us first pick in next draft, right?
Well, sure, as long as you're willing to pony up the cash to get the first pick.
That's not how it works. Come on.
This is an auction style draft, not a pick'em. Yeah. So yeah, we don't know exactly when that's coming, but
yeah, we're waiting on the commissioners to make some decisions on this.
And I will say, if you guys had got to keep Alita Battle Angel,
we would have done a little better.
Little bit, but they did 28. They've done 28 million since open.
If we had that, would that give us enough to move up one place?
No. I'm like 150 million ahead of you.
Well,
yeah. 479 minus 324, that's about 150.
So if we took one of his best movies, maybe we would have.
So Alita Battle Angel so far has gotten 45 million. That was just the weekend.
Oh, that was just weekend top 5. Oh, you're right.
A total of 45, and it's only been out for 1 week now. So he would have gotten probably up to 70, my guess. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less.
Hey, but you did get 46 million from Vice.
Oh, well, that
outperformed First Man.
Yeah.
Just think about that. The Dick Cheney movie outperformed the Let's Go to the Moon movie.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to doing this again next year, but I think I want somebody else to drive the auction machine when we do this. Clyde, are you going to continue representing
I think I'm obligated to.
Well, then I will convince either Jimmy or Michael to drive the actual auctioning this next time, because I think I've just proven that I am apparently a bad.
You want me to bid for both teams?
No.
Because you'll spend $100 on one thing.
I would not intentionally sink. If I'm emotionally vested in both.
I'll volunteer. I'll bid first next time.
Okay.
See, I would take that as a challenge to get both first and second place.
That would be cool. But I think the fact that you would be able to run 2 teams and twice as much money, you could totally game the system for one of the 2 if you did that. So I think it would be an unfair advantage on your part.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's in the rules that you can't be part of 2 teams. So.
Exactly. Oh, well.
We'll have to ask the commissioner, but Dr. Arby.
All right.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes. We can start calling him Gordon.
The commish.
I like that show. I wasn't until a few years ago I realized that the commish was Michael Chiklis.
See, I was too young when it was on for me to realize how good it was. I was like, oh, it's
exactly. I watched that that was around the time I dragged a TV into my room and said, nope, I have a TV in my room. And so it's like, what, 6th grade or whatever. Black and white TV. But like I said, I didn't know that was Michael Chiklis. Right? The dude from The Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah. And until a couple years back. And I went, oh, okay. All right, well, should we... Rants, raves, what you got going on?
I got two things. I've been watching. This weekend was a long weekend for us. We really enjoyed being super lazy one of those days, and we stayed in our couch all day and watched the television show, an older show called In Plain Sight, and watched 2 seasons. And boy, that show has just the right amount of snark and fun and gags between those two Witsec people. It is a lot of fun to watch. If you really enjoy watching two people who are really good to each other but snarky as can be, the snark level is epic.
Well, and especially when you learn that Marshall Mann is a marshal, so he's Deputy Marshal Mann.
I know.
So I mean, I watched that show and when it was new, and I absolutely loved it. It got canceled after like 3 seasons. I think it is
5.
Or was it 5? Yeah. There was one point where it just disappeared, and then it came back without any word, and then maybe there's a couple seasons I never actually got to see.
Well, we're still watching it. I think we're in season 3. So, but it was. I do definitely recommend that. And the other thing that I've been doing is this weekend, when everybody else went to bed, I went ahead and spent $15 for Origin Access, the premium. So $15 gives you access to a bunch of Origin games through their service, including early access to the brand new game, which is called Apex Legends. No, I'm kidding. Anthem. Apex Legends is free. Anthem was the one that they've been talking up so much over. There was a lot of buzz about it, and I really am enjoying it. I'm not the kind of gamer who will pick up a game and play it for hours and hours and hours on end. Every once in a while, I will come across a game I'll do that with. Most of the times, I will pick up a game and I will play it for a while, and I'll put it down and I'll come back the next day and and progress slowly. And because that's the way I play my games, this game is paced out really well for me. For most people, they're not liking it. Load times are a problem. They're apparently working on it. There's a bunch of various bugs they've got in there and being worked on too. But the game, you're in an Iron Man suit, one of 4 different types. You get to choose. You go out in a multiplayer world and do missions. It's PvE. You're not really taking on other players. You're just taking on bigger and badder and more hordes of monsters, and you're getting more powerful as you do it. And that just feeds my gamer need really well right now, and it's really awesome. And it is beautiful to look at. A lot of fun. Totally worth it. If that's the kind of thing you were interested in, I'd recommend it. It's maybe give it a month if you want to wait until the bugs are gone. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Rock on. And I'll go next because you mentioned In Plain Sight. My love for that show is the whole reason. I've talked before about the new show on ABC. I think it is. The Kids Are All Right.
Yeah.
The whole reason I started watching that is because Mary McCormick is in it. She plays the mom, who is the main character in Plain Sight. And so just think of a 10 years older version, more same kind of personality. It's great, and especially since every episode seems to have a modern pop culture reference worked into a joke. Like this week's episode did a what was that Somali pirate movie, Captain something, with Tom Hanks.
Captain Phillips.
Yeah, Captain Phillips. They made a Captain Phillips joke, but in context, And it's one of those things that it wasn't. It was just something that it was really funny when they did it. And
it's based in the 80s or 90s, 70s. Right? In the 70s.
Early 70s. Your Catholic family with like eight boys, trying to get by, raising the family, and it's really funny. If you got Hulu, it's on there. I can't recommend it enough, especially if it reminds me a lot of my childhood in the 80s, the early 80s. But yeah, check it out.
Very cool. Oh,
Jimmy?
Yeah, so I'm going to mention a couple of things, just a couple of shows I'm watching currently. The first one is a show called The Whine Show.
Okay.
And it's it's a British-made show. It's Brits that are hosting the show. You got the wine connoisseur there who's always there talking about the wine, and you'll see him go out and pick up wine. He'll go out maybe and talk to like a chef or something to see what kind of wine, pairs well with a certain type of food. And he'll go out to various wineries and he will talk about the history of that winery, in various countries, all throughout Europe. You'll see him go to Australia, South America. I think one of the more recent episodes I watched was the country of Georgia. Georgia makes a lot of wine. So if you like wine and you like something that you would see on the Food Channel, perhaps. I think what was the analogy I used in the pre-show? Oh, so it's kind of like the Grand Tour, for autos. The Whine Show is for wine, right? So it's kind of that same kind of format, but with wine.
So there's a good sense of humor.
There's a good sense of humor there, right? Right. So if you like wine or are interested in wine at all, I definitely would recommend it. And you can watch it on Hulu. Hulu is where I watch it at, right? So and there's 2 seasons. I don't think you necessarily have to start out with the first season, but just pick an episode in there and watch it. And I don't think it's going to make your top 10 list, but it's definitely entertaining and worth watching if you like, that type of show. The other show that I'll mention is related to my CBS All Access subscription that I recently subscribed to, and it's Star Trek Discovery. I finished the first season.
Oh yeah.
And I have to say it was really great. Right, I really enjoyed it a lot. I almost want to say some things that would kind of spoil it, but I won't say that. But if you're a Star Trek fan, I think that you'll like, Star Trek Discovery, right? It's really an interesting show. I have read where some people complain about the show; they don't like it so much. And keep in mind that Star Trek has always been the type of show that would have scenes in there that would push the social boundaries, right? They've always done that. Even the original show did that.
Absolutely.
Right? So there is that element there, just to be aware. So if you're really strict when it comes to social issues and that kind of thing, or really conservative, I guess, when it comes to social issues, you might have an issue with some of the social things that you'll see in there. But if you really like the science fiction, as I do, right, and you really were a fan of any of the earlier seasons of Star Trek, then you'll definitely like Star Trek Discovery. I finished up the first season. I'm into the second season now. I think I'm 2 episodes in now, and enjoying the second season as well.
Well, it's still, I still haven't trying to decide if I'm going to pay to watch that or if I'm going to wait until we decide it's worth paying for all of CBS All Access or whatever way it comes to us in the future.
for me, it's two shows really, right? One is the Star Trek shows. The other one is Survivor. Me and my daughter love to watch Survivor. So if if you got a couple of good shows like that you're gonna watch, right?
Right.
I mean, it's only $60 for a year's subscription, right? So not too bad, right?
That's like almost pretty soon that's going to be 3 months of Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can look at it like that, right? I mean, so you get a whole year's worth of CBS, right? And that's to include, the football covers that they do, right? The other sports stuff that they do. If you're a golf fan, as I am, the Masters golf tournament is included in with that, right? So, so there's a few things there that I'll watch on there. Why, and I don't know as if I'll renew for the second year or not. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Don't know. But I thought, $60 for a year. Yeah, and that way I'll use it for a year, and I'll know if I really want to subscribe to this or not after that, right?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That reminds me of I finally found a CBS show that I was kind of excited about, and we could talk. We'll talk about it after.
Okay.
We should probably wrap this up, but yeah. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thank you guys for joining me.
Sure.
If you're new to the channel, you're watching this after the fact, we do this live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, here on Twitch. And as we mentioned before, audio feed is available to patrons if you want to get that and listen after the fact. But for those of you that were here live, you've been submitting titles this whole time, so you should probably head on over to tvs.showbot.tv. It's there in the chat. And vote for all of the titles that you think are worthy. And then we'll pick a winner here in the post show. And with that, I think we can wrap this up. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
We'll check y'all later.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.